And so for me, I want our young people to know their history in a way that nobody can ever take it from them.
Thank you. When you were talking about the time from the different periods. That was one thing that struck you about that. Would you like to speak to that or any other?
Yes, just weaving back and forth, I thought was really interesting, and seeing this tonight, and it's not fair, and I hope that many white people in this country watch this. I want to help screen it, across the country, but I want to help screen it for lots of groups, because they need to see this too. They need to understand what someone on this panel and in this room would have to go through to just be on par.
That we live and have lived for the 400 and some odd years we've been in this country in a sea of white supremacy. And one of my favorite sayings is that fish don't know there's land. And I think one of the things that's happened to us as black people, as African Americans, we've become desensitized to the abuse and the violence that we have suffered for the 400 years that we've been here. And what that's done, in my view, is created a sort of collective psychosis that has prevented us from achieving what our forebears, the enslaved people we saw in the documentary, were set loose with nothing. And from that, they built colleges, they built towns, they built businesses, they educated their kids, everybody strove to do better. And we're now living with a generation of young people who think if you're trying to be smart and strive, you're trying to act white, as if we should be ignorant and we should not be together. And so what the film did to me is it saddened me, because we're looking at people, and Tulsa, some of that footage I'd never seen before, I read about it, but to see people with thriving businesses and bakeries and the pride that you saw in those people just going through their everyday life in an all-black community, we've lost that. And that's why I said it's sort of a collective psychosis. Well, I used to say that white people took it from us until I started looking at the statistics that show that the most successful ethnic group in America are sub-Saharan Africans, black people. They have the highest education attainment. They have the highest personal income of any immigrant group. It's not the Russians, it's not the Asians, it's black people from Africa. So what that tells me is that those people who did not grow up in a sea of racism, they see the opportunities that America presents, and they take advantage of it, and they use it. So we just got through celebrating really the death of Nipsey Hussle. We talked about all the things that he had done around trying to build the community in which he lived. And then we learned that he's Eritrean. He's one of those Africans who come to the United States and despite being black, they succeed. Yet we've got lots and lots and lots of stars in the music business who made a lot of money. A lot of them have come from South Los Angeles or Detroit or Brooklyn and stuff. And none of them made a contribution back to the community like Nipsey did. And so the question we have now is, why is that? And that's why I say we have a collective psychosis that prevents us from doing what we could and should do for our people. And we look at our forebears, they did it, and we're not.
Audience out there about your work, trying to set an example for others.
Sure. So yeah, 5 years ago, I was on on food stamps and in and out of having a home, so having a lot of things. And I noticed Silicon Valley and started learning what tech startups were. And I felt a kinship to the founders who were building something from nothing. And I thought, oh, this is the land of opportunity. And then a few weeks later, after doing my research, I realized it's the land of opportunity for some people and not for all of us. So I said, well, that's an interesting setup because there's an opportunity there to get capital to people who haven't been afforded that innovative seed capital. And there's also a chance for someone who figures that out to do quite well because you're sitting there, almost on your own. So in the last 5 years, it's a much longer story, of course, but in the last 5 years, I have raised capital bit by bit, brick by brick, door by door. I have invested in more than 100 companies that are led by women, by people of color, and LGBT founders in the tech space across the country. And we have just launched an accelerator across 4 cities that is investing in another 24 companies today. And my hope and dream and mission is to make sure that everyone understands that this is for all of us. We do not have to ask for permission. We do not have to wait. We do not have to ask to be let in, sit at the table, none of that. It's our table too. And we're coming in. So the people in our portfolio, what's really emotional for me is understanding that the people in our portfolio will be part 2 of this.
Can you tell this audience what you left on the cutting room floor that you want them to know?
So you said we only have 7 minutes. There is so much. But I can't be sitting here talking about this in this moment in LA without talking about not something that we actually shot and filmed in a sequence that we created, but an idea that got left on the cutting room floor. So Nipsey Hussle is one of the business people that I wanted to include in this film. And time constraints, schedules, et cetera, it didn't happen. But for me, his work, his investments, his mission, his vision tied together so many of the threads that we try to explore in the film, from his understanding the importance of land ownership. I went over to the Marathon store a couple days ago and just was blown away by what he was doing over there, to his understanding of the need to connect the tech industry and STEM education and connect Silicon Valley and his neighborhood, to his really sophisticated understanding of how capitalism works, but using capitalism, which ordinarily only accrues to the capitalist, for the collective and the community. And I really wish that we could have told that story in the film, and it's especially poignant for me now that he's not here. So.
Thank you. Maybe we can backtrack and see a little piece of that at some point. Karim, when you and I talked, we were talking a little bit about the challenges of Los Angeles right now with regard to gentrification. Could you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, we know what's happening in West Adams, what's happening with Merck, what's happening all over South LA. We were talking about earlier, and one of the ramifications of us, being in a situation that we were in by design, is we haven't had, as Virgil was talking about earlier, access to capital to be able to buy and hold. So, you've got companies out here who have, been able to see what was coming and have purchased a lot of buildings and land in what was our community and the things, so for me, myself, like, how can we do more? The challenge to everybody here is, how can you do more? How can we be entrepreneurial? Johnny Pastrani's was bought by Janina and Dennis. on Slauson was purchased by John Denny's, which is like upscale Italian restaurant. You know, our community is changing rapidly. And those are going to be businesses that work and thrive. And the new folks moving into the community are going to support those businesses. We need to be opening up businesses right next to them that are competitive and that we operate and own. And if we can own the real estate, we don't do that too.
I think you're going to be part of that. Thank you. Business starts, how LA is perceived by others. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so I spent 300 days of last year out of LA, even though this is my home, traveling for various reasons, for work. And so, you know, I'm in these different cities and I get to hear how people talk about LA and other cities. And then especially this year, right now, LA is a place to be for startup founders. They're leaving Silicon Valley in droves. They're coming to LA and Atlanta, and founders of color. And it's also, and I'm in rooms a lot of times with investors, limited partners, and they often ask for me to prove out what I'm talking about, which is fair, and they ask for an ecosystem that is an example of what it would look like and what is success. And I use Los Angeles because we're such a diverse city, and it's also one of the top five tech cities in the country just by sentiment and by how it's doing financially. And so I think it's, you know, there are a lot of people who are along LA, and it's starting to really show across the country.
Thank you. And Virgil, you can have the last word here. We're talking a little bit about some of the things that have changed over time. Initially, we're talking about how people would not necessarily go to a black lawyer. They would, you know, prefer a white lawyer. How, fast forward to now, how that has changed. Can you talk a little bit about the hopeful signs you see among entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's interesting to me. When I first started practicing law, there were probably, I do entertainment work, I represent people in the music business. There were probably 15 black lawyers in America who did entertainment work. And a lot of times we felt in those early days that we were like a farm team, you know, where you would take talent and develop it and get it to a point where it could be a superstar talent, and then it would move on to a white man. That really began to change noticeably for me with the rise of hip-hop music. You know, it's really interesting for the first time to see a lot of young black talent who really wanted to be represented by black representatives, and that was lawyers and accountants. And there's an organization that I was involved with starting called the Black Entertainment Sports Lawyers Association. We used to have a convention, and we might have 20 lawyers, 20 people, 25 people counting our wives and spouses and stuff. I think the last conference I went to, there were over 600. And you find black lawyers doing things like being in the front office of hockey teams, you know, just places you wouldn't think that people exist. And so I think that the conditions for entrepreneurship in the black community and for black folks has never been greater, especially in a place like Los Angeles. I think Karim is an excellent example of what is possible. But you know, my hope for the future really rests with millennials. You know, people like Harlan, who are doing things that when I was their age, we would only dream about them. And so I really think that the salvation for us is us. I think that, you know, I was talking with Karim earlier, because Karim is one of the employers who can tell the difference between a criminal and a young man with a criminal record. That sort of distinction is a distinction that only those of us who know our community and know our young people can make. And I think now is really a great time to think about starting businesses. That is a place to do it. A lot of the supports that you need in terms of everything from professionals, even to venture capitalists who are looking differently at investing with black folks than they did 10 years ago. So I'm very optimistic about the future for black-owned businesses, and I would encourage a lot of you who are here to carry the message. Now is the time for us to pick up the mantle to begin to build the enterprises that will ensure that we have wealth and jobs and opportunity.